So when we built our passive cash flow from land flipping all the way up to $71,000 a month, and that's, by the way, $840,000 a year, and the 2008 recession hit, what do you think happened to our business? Okay, so let's give you a little overview. We have been in real estate since 2002. When I say we, I mean my wife, Michelle. She's the CEO of our company. We run our companies together. We have been particularly focusing on one asset class, which is flipping land, flipping lots, flipping dirt. We started out flipping dirt in 2002. We stumbled upon it, right? We figured out that there's a bunch of people don't want their piece of real estate, and particularly landowners are willing to give these properties away for literally 10 to 45 cents on the dollar. And that, you heard that right, 10 to 45 cents on the dollar. So we put up larger land auctions where we would buy 250 properties in a matter of 3 months and then sell them all in one day, making many millions of dollars in revenue in literally 24 hours. That business model obviously worked great until the big recession happened.
Because we're now down 43%.
What in the world is happening on Wall Street?
And when the big recession happened, the entire market shifted. And we had to shift with the market. So what shifted was that instead of having to do these live auctions, because we ended up having to spend more and more money and less people showed up, we were able to shift this all online. And instead of reaching only buyers in one market, we now through the internet could reach buyers all over the world. And you know what? That was actually a blessing in disguise, because we went from a feast and famine business model where you had to spend a lot of money, a lot of effort to create one of these auctions, and then you had this big successful days that was also very stressful, to a business model where we can sell properties every single day, almost at no cost, and I'm about to show you exactly how that works. The big question now comes in, well, Jack, if in 2007 or 8 the market started crashing like crazy, how come you could still sell properties? How in the world was that even possible? Well, here's how it is possible. First of all, when you pick up properties at 10 or 20 or 30 cents on the dollar, it doesn't really matter what the market does. Like if the market goes down 30 or 50%, you can still sell these properties with profit. Now, the other thing is we are not buying and holding these properties. We are putting them on contract and then flipping them the same day or within a few days, so we can adjust to the market prices very simply with our offers. So if the market prices of a property went down from $80,000 to $50,000, our offer price also went from perhaps $20,000 to $10,000. So of course, while demand did go down, I'm not saying demand didn't go down in the recession, but we were able to just buy cheaper and sell cheaper. And instead of making $30,000 or $40,000 on a deal, we were making $15,000 or $20,000 on a deal. The other reason why we actually were able to continue to sell properties in a declining market is that land operates under different rules than houses. Think about it. A house is somebody that somebody needs to buy in order to live in. Land is not somebody that anyone needs to buy, particularly if it's the kind of land we focus on, which is number one, land infill lots in the city. Number two, land in the path of growth, which is 20, 30, or 50 miles outside of a bigger city. Right, where the city keeps growing towards. And number three, it's larger acreage and recreational areas. So we're focusing on these kind of properties because there is a built-in buyer pool that is interested in these properties no matter what the economy does. Because even in the big recession, where we had 10% unemployment, 90% of people still had a job. And those 90% of people started thinking about, you know what? If the economy goes to hell, what am I going to do? I want a piece of land to be able to go to escape to. Some people, the doomsday preppers came up big time, right? Second kind of group is people that just simply said, you know what, I still have a job. I still want to get out on the weekend. There's a movement towards comfort, a movement to, like, let's say, like, the world's coming to an end. Let me at least splurge on something. That's, by the way, why in recessions also the consumption of alcohol goes up, the consumption of candy goes up, the consumption of chocolate goes up. Because people are reverting back to something that's comfortable. And a lot of people in the recession say, like, you know what, screw that. I don't have a house. I'm going to postpone the purchasing of my house. But you know what, I'm going to get that piece of land, so at least on the weekends I can get out there. So at least I invest in something that after the recession is over goes back up in value. So we had continued having all these buyers coming to us. And then secondly, land is actually often owned free and clear. So the banks were not giving out any loans anymore, which is why housing crashed to a large degree. But land never gave loans, so it was always a cash game, so we played outside of these roles. Now, the other strategy that we pursued, and that we pursue to this day and that we absolutely loved, is selling these properties with seller financing. Now, seller financing means that in essence, you become the bank. There's way more people that can afford a $10,000 down payment and $500 a month for a $50,000 property than there's people who can just write a check for $50,000. Yet, banks don't lend on land. So if somebody doesn't have $50,000, they're either out of the market, or when you bring in the option, then you just opened the entire market up to people being able to afford your land. And that made us explode before the crisis, in the crisis, after the crisis. That let us go through this market like absolutely nobody's business. Now, since then, we have flipped over 4,500 pieces of land. We have built up our cash flow to $71,000 a month from land flipping, from land seller financing, and that's just the seller financing deals. On top of it, obviously, there's a lot of cash deals that also came through, and we basically became the bank. Now that we teach this also, our students are doing the exact same thing and building up $15,000, $20,000 a year in cash flow streams from land, which, by the way, is pure cash flow. Pure cash flow. There's no tenants, toilets, termites, there's no repairs, there's no mortgages, there's nobody that lives there. It's just simply somebody paying off that property without any hassles involved for you. So really, who would have thought that you can do cash flow with land? So in combination, we have a recession-proof method here that was already proven going to the world's largest recession in 2008. Then again, to the COVID dip, we boomed during COVID dip. Everyone realized that if I'm stuck at home, I'd rather go outside of town and get myself a piece of land. Then on top of it, with COVID having accelerated the work from home space, there's lots of people that now can move anywhere they want to move. And there's a lot of people that don't want to live in a little condo. So the market has completely changed, and land flipping is better positioned today than it ever has been. And you can really do whatever you want to this, and you can also use it as a foundation for more advanced real estate strategies, as I will share in many more videos here. For example, we're right now getting into land development. We're starting to develop land pieces to build multifamily on it. You can do land splits. We've done plenty of land splits. You can do rezoning of land and do massive value add. So we're going to tell you all kinds of different strategies that you can use this absolute neglected and overlooked asset class of land and lots and make a fortune with it. So stay tuned, subscribe to our channel. There's a link below if you want to learn more. You can come over to our website. See you there.